In this episode, we're talking about a game that mixes the strategy of Final Fantasy Tactics with the deck building and progression of Slay the Spire. It's Shuffle Tactics. This and more on Indie Game Arcade. Welcome to Indie Game Arcade, a podcast that deep dives into the latest and greatest indie games. My name is Chris.
And I'm Joseph.
And Joseph, did you know I am not AI? Did you know that?
I had my suspicions, but okay. Yeah, I'll trust you.
I weirdly get accused of being AI.
Oh, do you seriously?
Yeah. Like if I'll post like clips from like our show or something like that. And like I'll every once in a while I'll just get a comment that's just like, no like for you, AI. And I'm like, bro.
Wow.
Dude, like, I don't know whether I should be like, I'm offended that I don't sound like a human, or should I be slightly like, am I just so perfect that they think, you know, I've got to be a robot? I don't know. I'm not AI, guys. I promise.
I'm now wondering if like the AI accusers are AI themselves.
Oh man,
in some way, like some kind of automated bot set up to accuse other people of being AI.
Calls coming from inside the house. It is.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's the AIs coming for me, man. They're getting mad. I'm trying to hold on to my jobs and the AIs are coming for me. Jerks.
Oh yeah. Especially like since a lot of what we do is very computer heavy. So it's like, if anybody's job's going to get taken, it's kind of ours first.
Everything I do in every aspect of work is like threatened by AI at this point, and that sucks. So
wild. They're
going to be coming at me, I guess. Speaking of coming at people, let's talk about Shuffle Tactics. I don't know that. I don't know what that was. Game start! So Shuffle Tactics was released June 24th, 2025, developed by Club Sandwich, which is such a good name, and published by The Arcade Crew. That's an even better name. Why didn't we take that? We got Indie Game Arcade
Crew. That's so good.
The Arcade Crew. That's great.
Dang.
Retails for $14.99. For a quick description, this is a roguelite deck-building tactical RPG featuring grid-based, turn-based battles on 3D isometric maps with card synergies, positioning tactics, sidekicks, relics, and terrain combos. I love those sidekicks, man. I think that's one of my favorite parts about this thing is those sidekicks. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So you got to play this. I got to play this. But we haven't talked about, between the two of us, we haven't talked about our experiences just yet. So I'm excited to hear what you have to say about this, especially because like this game is getting a lot of mixed reviews. I kind of see like some of that, but for the most part, I had a pretty enjoyable time with this. Though I would say like it felt like the learning curve of this one was pretty high, at least for me. But I don't know. How did you feel about that?
It seemed like my first run was absolute like garbage like that. Yeah. I was like, I have no idea like what even happened to me. But then my second run, I'm like, okay, now I understand what all these things are doing. And it went a lot smoother once I knew what the companions were, what they actually did, or what the separate card like text was actually saying. I do want to say right off the bat, like one of the things that bugged me the most about this game in my initial time with it, and granted, like we're just playing the demo, so this might be corrected in the main game or in the full game. I have no idea, but I tried to use controller because it says it's controller compatible, it even shows the buttons that you're using for controller, like A, RB, whatever. But it is absolutely unplayable on controller. It is horrendous. So janky. You cannot do it. So I had to switch over to mouse and keyboard, and then it runs fine. It's great. It's on mouse and keyboard. It works perfectly. But yeah, controller is just like dead in the water. Like, do not try because you will just be disappointed.
Yeah, I first tried to play it on Steam Deck and was sorely disappointed. Like nothing worked.
Oh
Like
yeah, I couldn't even imagine.
I could barely get past the menu, to be honest. So
Yeah, exactly. Like it just doesn't control like you would expect it to.
yeah, not at all. So as far as the mechanics go, you've got your deck building. For you have a hero that you start as, and you're building cards up for that specific hero. And those are like the different abilities or different like effects, power-ups, things like that. And then you're also gaining relics, you're gaining charms, which is really cool. I like the charms that you can, like, those don't go to your character. You attach the charms to the cards, which is really interesting.
Yeah, that's
Wild Frost?
Frosthaven? Wild Frost, yes.
Yeah.
Very Wild Frost esque.
Yeah, and that was a carryover. That was something from Wild Frost that I really, really enjoyed. And I kept thinking, like, why do more games like not do that? Like at the time that we were playing it, and here we go. This one is definitely building on that, and in a really cool way too. It can dramatically change how that card functions, which is really, really cool. Tactical grid combat, as we talked about, this is isometric. It is a grid so that you are kind of doing positioning and stuff. And that positioning really does matter for a lot of the moves and stuff that you want to do with your cards. The one thing that, and I know I said I don't want to keep like harping on this thing, but the one thing that I did struggle with a little bit with this, and I think is something that's been shared through quite a bit, is with some of the maps, just the angle at which you are able to view the map itself sometimes ain't the greatest. And
I don't think you can rotate the map like you can in most grid things. Okay.
And that's the complaint that I've got, is like, there was like a part of me that felt like I should be able to click down on my mouse wheel and then rotate or do something. Yeah, that definitely isn't a functionality. And like it did cause a couple of issues for me every once in a while of like making some errors and like moving because I wasn't seeing like a clear path.
Because this wouldn't be an issue if there weren't like scale, like different like height of terrain, because like enemies can be like on the bottom half of it, and if you're on top and it's angled wrong, it's like I can barely see this thing and I don't know which square it's in exactly.
Yes.
If they, like, a simple solution would be like if they could at least give you like a flip between like an overhead view so you could just see it laid out as a grid to see where things are. It doesn't have to rotate, because I'm sure that's complicated, but just an overhead, just some kind of like visual so I can see where everything is and maybe select it like that.
Yeah.
One of the issues I was having with it is, and this is not necessarily like an issue, it's just like a quality of life thing, where when you get your companions or your sidekicks, you still just have one end turn button, and it's not intuitive enough to be like, are you sure you want to end your turn? You still have other dudes or other moves. It just will end your turn immediately when you click it. And the first couple times that I had a companion, I didn't know that I had to switch over to them. So I was like, what is this even doing? And because it doesn't switch for you, you have to like either hit shift or tab or something, or just like click on your companion and it will go to them or their picture. But it seems like after you're done with your moves, and if you were to hit end turn thinking you're done with your turn, that it should switch over to the one who still has action points, or at least confirm that you're trying to end your turn if there's any action points left, like any game would do, or most games do. That just seems like a weird like oversight to not have that built into it.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, because I went through the exact same process of got my first sidekick on my first run, went through my dude's thing, hit end, and then didn't understand why it didn't then go to my sidekick's turn. Instead, it just ended all turns. And I was like, oh, shit.
So strange.
Yeah. So yeah, you have to make sure that you switch between them, and you gotta like remember to use all of their stuff. Otherwise, you're just going to be wasting abilities and everything. And it kind of like you too, where you said your first run, you felt like you didn't know what you were doing and you got kind of stomped. That was exact with me. Like It was dog shit. Like I got annihilated in
Yeah,
like the very
it might have
first
been
zone.
if it wasn't the first battle, then the second battle, but not a boss,
Yes.
nothing, just a basic battle. I just got my ass handed to me. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? Or what do I not understand? And it's like, oh, I didn't understand anything. That's why.
Exactly.
But
and I think that there is a bit of a problem with this as far as like the I don't know, like they have a tutorial and stuff, but like I think there is some issues with what is intuitive and what is not, and the things that I think are the things that are not like mentioned as far as tutorial and stuff. Like you don't get led through them.
Onboarding's a little rough, and that I don't want to say that as like a make or break thing, because honestly, I do like the gameplay. Now, once I understood how to play the game, it was fun and I enjoyed it. Quality of life issues aside, I like the loop of it. There are just some small things, like one, definitely have like a in-turn confirmation. Two, I don't know how I feel about the little, when you get like cards after your run, you have to like tap on this little pack like you're opening it.
Oh, the mash button. Yeah, you gotta mash it.
Yeah, you have to like mash it. But then like if you hit it too many times, you're gonna accidentally select the card that's the middle one.
Yep. Yeah.
And there's nothing to stop it from doing that. So it's like, if you're gonna have, that's a cool little thing to have. It's cute. It's unnecessary, but it's like, it's fine. I'm okay with it being there. But at least have a fail safe that you cannot click the card. Or again, confirmation. Just have it where once you select a card, you have to click something to confirm. That I think a lot of these problems will be fixed with just any kind of basic confirmation.
Yeah. Select, then submit. Or are you sure?
Exactly.
An are you sure prompt.
Right. Yeah. That's all. Just ask me, because I'm not sure sometimes, especially if I'm just clicking around. Then it's like, I didn't mean to click that. So no, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Maybe this is a good thing for someone like you that has choice paralysis a lot. Maybe you need to just accidentally select the middle card.
Forces it on me. Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, like you click it so fast that you don't even get to read what it was. And then
I don't even know what it is until it comes up in my deck. I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah.
This card sucks. Why did I choose this?
But I agree with you in that once you understand the systems of everything, especially like the synergies that you can pull off, man, especially when you understand your sidekicks and like how they work.
Oh yeah. Ooh,
it is
the Necromancer sidekick.
Fun.
Once I got what the ghoul snack or whatever the little things did, I was like, oh man, like these little ghouls can get so strong if you let them.
Oh my gosh. And it is so satisfying, like just setting up enemies to die and then become a ghoul, like, and then immediately, especially when you have it set up like right next to another enemy. So like then that, one dies, immediately becomes a ghoul, immediately attacks the next enemy. And it's just like, oh man, that's so good.
Or if you know one of your ghouls is going to die on the next turn, just set him up to become a ghoul when he dies. So that it's like a chain of ghouls. It's so interesting the things you can do with it. Yeah. And that's just with the sidekick. And there are multiple sidekicks. In the demo, there's only like 3 or 4 sidekicks maybe, but I'm sure there are more in the full release. I don't know that for sure. And in the demo, we can only play as the wolf character, or not a wolf. What is he? Doberman. Because I remember it was like Doberman Knight.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Dober Knight. That's what he calls himself. He's a Dober Knight.
Yeah, that's right.
I really, really like the poison sidekick guy. I don't remember what he's called.
Oh, yeah.
I just remember that he has a lot of poison cards. And stacking that poison, like
those poison cards. Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of builds that rely on stacking things, where that is like a poison build or if it's a bleed build. So this using him and being able to stack poison, and with him specifically, like the run I did, where I beat the first boss, and let me think. I actually beat the full demo, if I remember right. I can't remember. I have it recorded somewhere. But anyway, with that, I ended up getting some charms and stuff like that to attach to his cards that like made his poison, like I think it was like doubled the poison or something. And then I got something else too that triggered more of his, like if you killed an enemy or something like that, then you would get that free card that you could like sort of like quickly dodge across like the field to like another spot. it gave me like extra of those, which was really cool. So like,
oh, nice.
He would just kill something and then he would be in a completely different area, like so quick and able to put bleed on somebody else. He was like my MVP during that run.
Something that I really enjoyed doing as the Dober Knight, once I learned like how the mechanics worked, like normally when you get like a push card or a shove card and it's like, okay, I need to push this up against like another unit or a wall or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes the situation just doesn't like work for that. But with him, he throws, he has a card like every turn where he can throw or retrieve his sword. And when you throw his sword and hit an enemy, if there's an open space behind them, it will go directly behind them. And then that sword becomes an object you can push the enemy against. And that will count as, collision,
yes.
which there are some cards that benefit from collisions. Like if they collide, then they get bleed damage or something or whatever. And so I just like that you could set up your own kind of like thing to shove them into. As simple as that sounds, it's just a really neat kind of thing that I didn't even like consider until I learned how the flow of combat worked. And I was like, oh, cool. Like it's fun discovering these things because they don't tell you, obviously. I'm glad they don't, because you kind of have to discover these things yourself as you play through and kind of figure out some additional strategies as you go.
Yeah.
And we're just scratching the surface of it because we've only played the demo.
Right.
I just looked and there are a total of 3 like main heroes and then 10 sidekicks. So we've only seen 3 of the sidekicks, maybe 4 of them. And each of the sidekicks has like 3 subclasses they could go into each. So that's really like a lot of customization, even with that seemingly small amount of like additional units.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is going to be like a gigantic game, but I think it's going to have enough like playtime for me to sink my teeth into it for a little while at least.
Yeah, I think so too. And also like the artwork of it. I mean, come on, it's good. This pixel art, it looks awesome. It is beautifully done.
Really pleasant pixel art.
Yeah.
All the more reason I really wish you could rotate around the map. That is
seriously
such a disappointing like misstep.
Yeah. But I mean, who's to say like, they might do some updates here and there and add some things. At least I would really hope so, because I think that this is a game that I think is taking some really heavy criticism in their reviews and stuff, specifically for a lot of the things that we called out. But all of the things that we called out and that people are like really harping on them for are things that, in theory, are way easier to fix than something like if your, mechanics are just completely broken or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that it is very doable to make this like a way better game.
For sure. The mechanics are solid. I just want like the surrounding, everything like around it to be just as solid, which to your point is something that probably to give it a couple patches, they could fix all these things up, presumably. And then it can be the game that I wish it had been at the start. But that's not to say that it can't get there. Like I have full faith that it can if they have a desire to do that. The disappointing part also is like it has even though like there aren't like a ton of negative reviews, there's like even number of negative and like positive, but there's so few reviews overall, 37 reviews. Yeah. So any negative you get is going to impact that score like tremendously. Yeah. So I'm hoping that it does get more positive attention. If they add in those fixes and, that's only going to help it out in the future and hopefully just gets more attention overall because like less than 50 people have reviewed this game. And as far as like a Steam game goes, that's kind of like a dead in the water kind of number. So I really hope it just does get more overall attention. I don't know if our show is going to bring it that much attention, but if anybody can, I'm hoping they're able to.
We're sure going to try. We'll be putting some stuff like on social media and everything too to try to get more eyes on this game and give it its due. So hopefully more people will give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick it up. It's actually on sale now for like $11.99. It's $15 base, but $11.99 Steam sale. All right, I'm gonna pick it up too.
Why not? It's got a couple. It's got a few packs and stuff too that come with other games. There's one bundle where it comes with quite a few good games. Like some of these we've already got, but like there's one where it comes with Drop Duchy, Cross Splits, and Mainframes in a bundle for the sale price on that's $39. So not bad.
There's a Deck Warriors bundle. I don't know what Beneath Orisa is, but it looks cool as I'm looking at it.
There's your bundle. Yeah. Oh, the art on that does look good. And it is a deck builder.
That's what I'm saying. And it's a deck builder. Well, I haven't ever heard of this. Interesting.
We now found your next week.
Power up!
Hey, if you're enjoying this episode so far, do us a favor, throw us a like, a follow, share the episode or the podcast with folks who love indie games so we can get more of these game recommendations out there and support the indie game devs making them. We also have our YouTube channel at youtube.com/nerdsloth where you can catch us playing more indie games or check out our top 5 and top 10 series for even more indie game recommendations because we believe there's an indie game out there for everyone.
Combo!
Hey, let's talk about some other indie games we've been playing. I've got a few to tell you about. This one totally up your alley. It's a visual novel.
Oh.
As far as visual novels go, this one's a little bit more interesting than your typical one. This is Mushroom Musume. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Musume, maybe. I don't know. This came out June 20th, 2025. Retails for $14.99 from Mortally Moonstruck Games. This is a creepy cute. Cupie. That's
Creepy
what we're gonna
Cupie.
fuse those two words. This is a cupie. This is a creepy cute fairy tale like visual novel where you are raising a mushroom girl, a mushroom daughter, and you're guiding her growth through making choices that determine her fate with the assist of die rolls. So it is very, very much like to me as I was playing it, it felt a lot like playing a TTRPG. From the aspect that you do a lot of reading because it is very visual novel, but I like the idea that you are making these choices, but then you are also relying on die rolls and stuff like that, whether the choices that you're making always work out or not. So I really liked that addition to it, which is something that not a lot of the visual novels really tap into. Plus the artwork of this is really, really cool.
That's interesting looking. Like some of it looks like sort of semi-realistic, but pixelated.
Right.
And then some is just like straight anime.
Yeah.
That's an interesting blend.
Yeah, it's a really interesting style. And it gives a little bit like every once in a while, it feels like it's going to do something that should be creepy, but I haven't seen anything creepy happen yet. So, but like it just has those vibes. It does
look
to
like
it.
one of those that's like you get close to finishing it and then it's like, oh, you haven't even begun, and then it just explodes into some weird twisted fairy tale.
Yeah, but it's pretty fun. It's for all intents and purposes, the little mushroom girl I raised, she was really, really adorable. She was very cute.
Raise a child, reap the rewards. That's one of its pitches.
Exactly. They all end up with like different kind of qualities and stuff. So like depending on kind of the mushroom girl you have and like their age and stuff. So their like stats and stuff will be different. So they won't always be the same. When they're first growing and stuff, you have to like do different things to account for like this. Okay, this is going to sound wrong saying this, but like their wetness, like because they're a mushroom, you know, and their nourishment.
Mushrooms do like moisture.
Yeah, and their nourishment and all those things, but like it was dampness. That's what it is. That sounds so much better. Okay. And then as they get older, there's like things like their humanity that they kind of learn from you and like the choices that you make and stuff. Cause you can make some choices like dealing with other people, you know, that your daughter might learn some bad qualities from you, honestly, which is kind of fun. You also have to deal with a witch that is the reason that you have this daughter in the first place, who might ask you for some not so great favors. So I don't know. It's a really interesting concept. There's a lot more to it than I really expected there to be. So pretty cool. And I like all the designs from it for sure.
You said some words.
Yeah. I also played Grifford Academy, which came out June 25th. This also retails for $14.99. This is a turn-based RPG and choices matter game with a very like academia isekai kind of story, where it's like a group of teens get sucked into a mystical like fantasy book realm called Cauldria. This feels very much like a young adult novel. I don't know when the last time you read a young adult novel was, Joseph, if you ever did, but
maybe when I was a young adult, I guess.
The vibe is totally YA novel. Like if you are someone that's very into young adult novel kind of stuff, like this is 100% what it feels like. But as far as like the mechanics and stuff of this game, now I think the story is really interesting and I'm enjoying that, and I like the characters, and the artwork is pretty good too. I love the character designs. The mechanics are much lighter than I would have expected for like a turn-based RPG. Like it's got some good bones for some mechanics. There's just not a lot of variability, I feel like. Even like when you first start, right? You only have one action per character, like just combat. Like so no item, no defense like you would usually get in a turn-based RPG. Just attack, and you start with just one attack, and that's it. Now, some of those other things do come available through getting gear and weapons and stuff, of which you have like 4 slots, so you can get more weapons that may give you some defensive actions, or like there's one character that you'll meet like right away, and one of her attacks also heals the character with the lowest HP at the time, as well as doing damage to an enemy. So there's like a lot of things like that where it's kind of like a lot of things are comboed in to make up for the idea that you don't have like just a defense action or a use item action during combat. So it's interesting in that way. It feels very much like the lightest mechanically RPG I think I've ever played. So I don't know that it's got enough to keep me going farther with it, but it was an interesting one to try. And like I said, I like the artwork and I like the story of it.
It's also like just released in its early access, so it is like under development, like for sure.
Yeah.
So that I wouldn't like based complete judgment off of like this experience with it, but maybe it would just give the devs some good takeaways as far as like what you noticed that you I guess struggled with or just like chafed up against.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see like more done with it. I think that's what I want, is I just want more options, like more things that you can do rather than just decide which attacks you want to do. So I think that would be interesting. And it looks like, you know, the more I played it too, like the enemies scale in difficulty and you get quite a few more enemies, and for what it lacks in choice of mechanics, it makes up for a little bit in like the idea of having to really strategize on when to use certain weapons. So because so many of those weapons, like I said, have like bonuses that will do different things like heal, or the main character like Erica, I got her a weapon that does like a stun, but they have like a system where like I can't remember what the thing was, but you have to like kind of wait so many turns before you can use these things. Like you almost have to wait for some stamina to build up. So it's like you have like your base weapons that only take like 1. So like right away you can use that weapon, right? And then by the next turn you would be able to use it again, because it only takes like 1 cycle to re-up that weapon. But some of those heavier weapons or something might take like 2 turns before you can utilize it, or even 3 turns before you can utilize it. So you might have that stun one, but you can't use that right out the gate. So being able to strategize that way is pretty cool.
It's hard for me to play early access games because they're gonna be like really, in some cases, underdeveloped at the time. And I know some things, some games need to go through that process because they need the player feedback to really understand what's not working yet or what could be fixed early on before they have to like release the full thing and be like, oh crap, we should have done this way earlier. Like I get the process of it. It's just, it's tough for me. Like even if I am going to play an early access game, I probably wouldn't bring it to the show most of the time, just because it's like, I know like realistically this game is going to come out maybe next year if like I'm lucky. So I'll wait till then, until it's done, to really like give it my full like attention.
Yeah, I think when we were talking about shuffle tactics earlier, that's one that probably could have benefited from going early access. And I know that there was one in the past that we talked about, like not that long ago, that I think would have benefited from it. I just don't remember which one that was. But Yeah.
But yeah, Shuffle Tactics, like even just like a couple months of early access would have been sufficient because, again, the core gameplay is good, but the basic quality of life stuff is where it really kind of falls flat a little bit. So the game that I picked up most recently and started playing that I had been meaning to, I just kind of forgot about it. It just got pushed to the side, was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown. I had to really slow down to say that all because there's so many T's in there. And it is, my concerns initially were that it just seemed like very, very, very like basic, like the idea and the execution. And it's not like a grand scale where you can play as all four turtles at the same time. It's like a kind of, you're one turtle at a time. You're going through these in an almost like these missions in an almost like board game like visual where you literally have like stands under your character like you would as a board game piece, and you're just kind of like moving around the grid as such as well. And so I didn't know how I was going to feel about it, but having played a little bit of it, I think I'm 4 or 5 missions in, and I'm really liking what they did here. I understand, since this is only like, how much did it? It's like a $19.99 game. So it's like meant to be like a smaller kind of project. And so looking at it through that lens, I understand why the scale is like this and why it feels like very simplistic, because it was almost like testing out an idea to see what they could do with it. And I think they executed what they have really well. The combat like flows well. Like it's interesting seeing how all the tactical like grid based movement and actions actually work, and seeing the characters kind of like, well, the characters aren't working together per se, but they all have like different kind of loadouts they can eventually build into. I haven't unlocked any of those yet because I just started, but there are different kind of things. There's a little like shop that you get things with in-game currency to kind of get new skills or something to put in addition or in place of some of your other skills on your bar. So there's some customization to it. There's enough here for, I don't know how many hours. It's not going to be like a 100-hour game or anything. And I don't think there's going to be like a ton of replayability to it once you get through the main part of it. But for, like a $20 or what is it, $15.99 right now on sale kind of thing, I think it's very sufficient, or it's a good quality version of what it is, which is just a very small scale game. And it's got the Ninja Turtles, so I'm going to be drawn to it automatically. So, but it's not going to be something that's huge or like a bigger idea like Shredder's Revenge or anything like that. So for the first like, I guess, initiation of Ninja Turtles into a grid-based tactics game, I think this is really successful. I like what they've done with it, and I want to play through the whole thing, especially since it is a shorter thing. I might actually have time to play through the whole thing for once.
Nice. I've seen one of the devs that worked on that game is very active on TikTok. I don't have his name written down or anything, but every once in a while I catch him on there talking about it and stuff. And like just some of the, he's talked about like some of the process of it and some of the things he was nervous about and some of the things he was excited about. And it was just really cool to see. So I'm excited that the game ended up being good, because we definitely had a few concerns about it when it was first announced, because like you said, it felt like it was going to be really light as far as content and stuff. But yeah, I'm excited to give it a shot too. Yeah. It looks cool.
Yeah, I definitely recommend doing so, because even if it is content light, it doesn't mean it's bad content. It's like content light, but it's quality light content. So that's the big difference. And even like review wise, it's very positive reviews too. So I'm glad it's being like it's being received well to the general audience too, which is really hard to do. Like everybody's a critic, so I'm glad to see that it's actually shining.
Yeah. I've got one more game that I want to bring up real quick, which is a game that was sent to us from a dev. This is called A Wicked Game, which was sent to us from Drew from Nico No Games. And this is when I was telling you earlier, Joseph, last episode.
Oh, rage inducing.
I was going to talk about a rage game. This is it. This is the one. This is a minimalist platformer kind of game, like platformer puzzle, leaning in a little bit of psychological horror, just in that Bennett Foddy sort of way of like driving you insane as you're trying to play it. it just here. Let me explain. Hang on.
Please
Settle in. Take off your shoes. Take a deep breath. There's like, I think 30 levels in the demo, but there's supposed to be like 100 in the full release. And like every level, like the rules, the inputs, like everything changes, and it will often like trick you in a way of like, do you remember? So UFO 50, the very first game, Barbuda, where like if you walk to the right, you just immediately get killed, right?
Yes.
Okay. Picture an entire game of being tricked in very similar ways. Like that's a lot of what it feels like every time you get into a new level. You're like, oh, okay. I think I just nope. Oh, fuck. All right, cool. So, and when I say it's like a very minimalist thing, it really is. A lot of times it's like move box to, other box over here. But like you try to move box and like, oh, nope, sorry, you can't use those arrow keys. You got to use all these like random keys on your keyboard. And as you start doing that, all of a sudden those keys might change. And now you got to use the other keys on your keyboard. Oh, and now something's like coming after you and you have to hurry up or you're going to die. And it's like stuff like that. So I think it's going to make for some very fun live stream for some folks. For me, it just made me contemplate all the things that led me here as a single teardrop ran down my cheek.
What am I doing with my life?
And then that teardrop exploded for no reason.
This is one that I might be able to get into.
I think
I like
it's challenging.
The idea
I think because of that, you might have a good time.
Yeah. I like the idea of even in the description, it's like the rules of getting like to the flag aren't going to be posted, but they'll be taught to you anyway.
Yeah.
And so it's something you're just learning as you go.
Yes.
Which is kind of just how Souls-like games work really like it's a very simplistic version of that, but it's like you can't know what you need to do until you die. And then it's like, okay, I'm ready for next time.
Even just
I need to hit WER instead of up, down, left, right.
Yeah, exactly. Even just like trying to start the game messes with you.
Fascinating.
And
So
like,
it is a wicked game.
Yeah, and then there's like a little like a little blurb, like a little pixel will pop in and a little message will pop up like, hey, it looks like you're having a hard time, and it just they kind of chastise you and like screw with you sometimes. Like
nice.
There's this one level that I tried so many times and I kept failing it, and a little pop-up came up and it was something like, hey, Mike did this level, why couldn't you? And I'm like, I don't care about Mike. Like I was getting so mad. Oh man.
Speaking of Barbuda though, like that's what drew me into beating that. Like that was the first UFO 50 game I beat because I had to. I was just so drawn to how crazy challenging it was that I couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
But maybe this will have the same effect.
This will be, it's going to be extremely challenging for sure. So
wonderful.
It's interesting. Well, I like to, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but like on the main page there, like on Steam, you see the little box. It's wearing like a Luffy hat. I don't know why, but it is. And I like that.
Yeah. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Why not? Everyone loves Luffy, right? Why not?
Yeah, sure.
Final round.
Let's talk about some upcoming indie games we're excited about. I have two that won't take me very long. And then the one that you were going to talk about is one that had caught my eye as well. So I'm excited for that. But real quick, Everdeep Aurora coming out on July 10th is a retro 2D puzzle platformer, very Game Boy Color kind of inspired looking. I've had that one on my radar for quite a while. It's also been making the rounds on social media quite a bit, so I'm sure folks have kind of seen it. It's the one with the cat and the drill. So if you've seen that, you know what I'm talking about. And then Advent Neon coming out on July 18th. This is one that we talked about on not this past Steam Next Fest when we did those, but the one before. Advent Neon was one of the ones I played. This was like the kind of Sonic the Hedgehog style beat 'em up sort of game that was super, super fun, and is not my style of game apparently because I was terrible at it, but I still had a fun time being terrible. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Yeah, I remember you talking about this one. I didn't get a chance to try it, but upon full release, maybe I will. I'll try the demo actually, because it looks like there is a demo. Let me add that.
Yeah, demo's still up. I recommend trying it out. I think you would have a really good time with it, honestly. And it is a very different play style, but like with the fast pace that like 30XX had, I think you'll like this.
Oh yeah, 30XX. That's a great game. I want to go back to that one.
It was a great game. So
the game that you were just talking about, well, the game that you were talking about me talking about is Every Day We Fight. It comes out on July 10th.
Yes.
And that one is apparently it's like a turn-based tactical RPG that is also a roguelike. It doesn't have the tag roguelike, but from the sound of it being a time loop, and the way that they describe it in some of the actual like game descriptions, it says that it's like death isn't only the beginning kind of deal. So it's like you die and then it like goes back and then you start over in this time loop. So it's like, okay, that's a roguelike, even if you don't say it is. And so again, like I don't know like if it's going to be like a roguelike in the way that we know them, but it at least has the same concept of that. And seems like as you beat each of the like bosses in the areas, like that's what moves you on to not be reset all the way back. So it has like those markers, sort of checkpoints, I guess, which are the bosses that keep you from resetting the whole thing. But anyway, this is you are a band of resistance fighters up against like a mysterious alien threat. And it just looks pretty cool. I love like tactical combat games. So that's what I was drawn to initially before I even knew what it was. But now knowing that it has like roguelike elements and it looks like a pretty decent quality as far as like the gameplay and the layout of the grids and everything goes, like I'm intrigued. This is my first time hearing about it. I just like found it as I was like skimming through games today. But yeah, I can't wait to see what this has going on for it.
It looks like in some parts you can go like first person point of view, which is interesting. And I'm wondering if that's probably just during the exploration bits before you get into the turn-based combat. Because I know there's like some exploration parts to it too, where it looks like you might have to do some stealthing around and things.
Maybe those are like stealth attacks that open up the combat.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking this is. And if so, that sounds awesome to me. So I'm very, very interested in it. So
yeah, really fascinating and looks cool. So
yeah,
I'm going to keep my eyes on it for sure.
I also just want to let everybody know, just so you guys know how quick this tends to happen, because this happens a lot. Joseph already purchased Beneath Oresa and Shuffle Tactics. We didn't even finish the episode yet, and they're already in our library.
Yeah, I got to take advantage of those sales while they're going on.
I just think it's so funny when we're talking about games, and we don't even finish talking about them, and you've already bought them. They're already just like.
The problem is that we're on the computer, and I have Steam right here open, and as I'm flipping through it, like I can't help it. Just impulsive. But again, this is part of my excuse is like, hey, it's still Steam Summer Sale.
It's Summer Sale.
Fine. What happens in Steam Summer Sale stays in Steam Summer Sale.
Game over.
All right. Well, if you had a good time listening to this episode, stick around to the bumper. To the bumper? Don't stick to it. Stick around for the bumper to learn how you can help support the show and all the things we do here at Sloth Creative. You can also check the show notes for our link tree, which will take you to our social media, Discord, subreddit, merch store, and tons of other cool stuff. But get in touch with us, let us know what indie games you're playing, and help us elevate these games so we can help support indie developers. That's game over for us. My name's Chris.
I'm Joseph.
And I'm not AI. We'll continue on the next episode. It's a sore point.
Continue.
Indie Game Arcade is recorded and produced by Sloth Creative. If you're looking for more gaming content, head over to youtube.com/nerdsloth for indie game let's plays and recommendations. If you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/nerdsloth, where you can select a pledge and receive access to hundreds of hours of bonus content from everything at Sloth Creative. If you're an indie game developer and would like us to review your game or explore other opportunities, send an email to nerdslothcreative@gmail.com with the subject line Indie Game Arcade. Thanks for listening, and keep supporting indie game devs.